The Little Princess, written and designed by Chuck and Lisa Smith. This is the story of a beautiful princess named Elizabeth Kathryn. She was the loveliest princess in all the land. She lived in a huge castle in the town of Little where the sun shined all year round. She was supposed to marry the Prince of Doomtown in just 4 days. The only thing was, she didn't love him.
I enjoy the plants and the animals. I just wish it wasn't so hot.
Try not to complain so much, dear. You know you've got it made. Besides, in 4 days you will be marrying Prince Groucho and all your dreams will be coming true. We're being attacked. Get to the safe room quickly.
The castle was under attack for several days. But before anyone realized what was going on, the princess was gone. The king urgently told all his men to put out the fires and mount their horses. He said to go search for his daughter, Princess Elizabeth Kathryn. The king told his men to search every house, every barn, every inch of this land. He instructed them to search underwater if need be, but to please, find his daughter. The king then promised the men that whomever brought his little princess home safely would have a pile of gold, like no man had ever seen. The king's men quickly saddled and mounted their horses, and rode off in every direction. They searched as far as the treacherous mountains to the north. They sailed the salty blue seas to the south. They forged through the haunted forest to the east. Lastly, they scoured the scorching deserts to the west. But no man brought back the beautiful princess to claim his prize of eternal wealth. Meanwhile, in a village far away from the beautiful sun-lit town of Little, our Princess Elizabeth Kathryn was slowly waking up from what she had considered a very uncomfortable nap. On top of that, her head was killing her and she wasn't sure why. It looked as if she were in a log cabin with a big wooden door. All the furniture seemed to be really old, like antique. At least it seemed really old to her. There was a strange man comforting her at her bedside. He didn't seem dangerous, but she didn't know who he was, or more importantly, where she was at. He told her that the people in his village were in a large battle with a group of rebel forces from Skull Mountain. He then spoke out in a rather agitated voice that the skeletons hid out in the snow caves and attacked his fellow villagers unexpectedly and far more frequently these days. He said that they always abducted the women. The skulls would take them back to be brides for their Skull Mountain royalty. He then explained to her that one of the men found her wrapped up in a rug in a ditch. The courageous man fought against all odds to win the battle that saved her life. He is our best warrior. His name is Philip.
Hi, my name is Philip. Welcome to Snowtown. We are the largest village on the Ice Plains. I am the leader of our warrior clan. Our job is to keep the town safe, both day and night, from the skulls that lurk in the forest. I was told your name is Kathryn and that you are claiming to be from a town of eternal sunlight and absolutely no ice or snow. I'm sure your home is lovely, but there is no such place.
It's nice to meet you, Philip. And yes, the name is Kathryn. Elizabeth Kathryn. Of the luxurious Kathryn Kingdom in the town of Little. And yes, where I am from, it is always warm. Our crops grow all year round and the constant sunlight allows the fruits and vegetables to grow longer. This gives them more flavor and allow them to grow much larger than normal fruits and vegetables.
Well, Miss Elizabeth Kathryn, if there is such a place, where the sun is everlasting and the crops are always plentiful, then I'm going to find it. I don't know where you're from, Elizabeth, but I'm taking you home. We will start our search tomorrow not by foot or horse, but by air. In my new invention I call the bubble coach.
The people of the village were not as happy with their two guests. The bread makers had to leave their home, just so she could have a whole cabin to herself. Not only that, supper was totally disrupted when the soldiers brought her in from the battle. The nightly celebration was cancelled and there was no dessert either. Not to mention the fact that since she has arrived, Philip has been acting weird and has avoided his regular duties to take care of her. But to top it all off with a great big cherry, she's taking their best warrior and provider, away on what will most probably be a very long journey in search of her home. Literally, the bright side was, that if that little princess was telling the truth about the forever sunshine in the town of Little, food in Snow Town would soon be plentiful. Philip promised to bring back a coach full of food, as well as opportunities, for future trade. The princess awoke early the next morning, just in time to watch the sunlight creep up across the valleys and roll over the snow-capped hills. It had turned her whole world into a winter wonderland. Until now, the princess had never seen snow, and she was not sure when she had ever seen such a beautiful sight. After Philip and the princess had enjoyed watching the morning unmask the night, they casually but excitedly headed over to the bubble coach. It was quite an amazing invention, and she felt sure it would eventually take her home. They would stop at each of the towns along the way, to meet the people, and get fresh supplies. Philip agreed these actions would be a good idea for later trade ventures. But to be honest, he was stopping all the time, so he could spend more time with Princess Elizabeth Kathryn. He couldn't help it. He was falling in love and there was nothing he could do about it. And truth be told, Elizabeth was finding that she wanted to spend more time with Philip as well. They traveled day and night, stopping only for picnics, and to get closer looks at nature, and the animals that survive it.
I don't see how we are able to fly at night. I understand flying higher to avoid the trees, but how do you know which way we are going?
Okay. Bubble Coach 101. We can see the treetops with our lanterns. I use them like a highway. A river actually works better. But a river has to be pointing the same way you are, to actually do any good. As far as the direction we are traveling. By night, I use the brightest star in the sky. The North Star. During the day, I use the sun. It rises in the east and sets in the west. I promise, I will get you home, my sweet princess.
Sometimes, when they had the right forest coverage, they would spend the night camping next to the bubble coach. Often, they would wake up to a morning guest.
Ah, it's so cute. What kind of creature is this? What do they eat, and where do they live?
That is a seal. They are very common in these parts. The seals are a natural population control for the fish in our waters. They spend a lot of their days in and out of the ocean, but at night they sleep on the banks.
They had been traveling for 6 days in very cold weather. The princess was enjoying all of the time she was getting to spend with Philip, but she was really anxious to get back to her warm bed.
If you haven't noticed, the sun is shining brighter and it's getting a lot warmer.
It is still cold enough to build a snowman. But I think we're getting closer. My home is near, I can feel it.
On the 6th night of their travels, they had decided that they were tired, and needed to camp. When they woke up on the morning of the 7th day, they woke up to the most amazing sight. The sun was shining brighter than Philip had ever seen it shine.
Quick! Over that ridge. We're almost there.
Finally, through all the bright sunshine, they came upon the castle.
We're here. We're finally here. Home sweet home.
My beautiful daughter. You've come back to me. Who is the man responsible for bringing my daughter home safely to me?
I am Prince Philip of the Wayward Kingdom. Our castle was destroyed when I was a babe. Both my parents met their demise in the battle. I was sent to live with our housekeepers in Snow Town. I am here not only to claim your cash prize but to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage. I will use my reward to build her an amazing castle. I do love her, sir.
Daddy, I love him too.
It sounds as if you two already had your minds made up. Thank you, Sir Philip. Of course, you have my blessing.
So, after a beautiful wedding, the likes that no man had ever seen, King Philip hired 1,000 men to build a castle worthy of holding his lovely queen, Elizabeth Kathryn. It took 3 years to construct the mighty fortress. But when it was completed, it was truly a sight to be seen. Most importantly, during those 3 years of building, Queen Elizabeth Kathryn had 3 beautiful babies. She had 2 beautiful girls, and 1 bouncing baby boy. And from now, till the end of time, they all lived, happily ever after.